After the Brexit drama, the climate between London and Brussels could have improved again. But the sluggish vaccination campaigns in many EU countries make the Brexit supporters scoffed. If you were to regularly award a person who has done a lot for the approval of the Brexit project, this person would currently be called Ursula von der Leyen. The EU Commission chief as Brexiteer of the month. In fact, even the most staunch friends of Europe on the island find it difficult to defend vaccine management on the continent. Threats, warnings, accusations, tensions between the EU and Great Britain have been intensifying for days. In essence, the EU accuses the British for not exporting vaccines themselves, but willingly using deliveries from EU member states. This Thursday, the dispute could escalate completely. At the summit, the Union wants to decide whether to impose export restrictions on vaccines or the components, as von der Leyen has indicated. Such measures would also hit the kingdom badly and could set the progress of the campaign back by weeks. Millions of imported vaccines have already been administered and are essential for the continued success of the program. The British received around 10 million doses of the BioNTech-Pfizer product between the end of January and mid-March, making up 2/3 of all vaccinations on the island during that period. Around 54% of the adult population have now received the first dose. While on Downing Street this week there's an unusually conciliatory tone and Prime Minister Boris Johnson seeks talks with the European heads of government, EU skeptical politicians as well as the press are very welcome to the wrangling over the vaccine. Driven by their own triumph, the hardliners edge with relish in the direction of the continent. Can there be better advertising for Brexit? The message of the Brexit supporters is, freed from the shackles of the bureaucratic institution, the independent kingdom could now act in the interests of its own, and thus save the lives of millions of citizens. Only the evil community of states tries, they claim, to prevent that. Who else is better suited as a scapegoat? And what they're saying is really complete bonkers. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You must have heard it to believe it. They are old resentments in a new guise. It happens to them that the distribution of vaccines is making slow progress in many EU countries. While initially there was still hope that relations between London and Brussels could relax after years of drama, the relationship has reached a new low with the vaccination dispute. Sensible observers may rightly shake their heads in disbelief at the fiasco on the continent. The Brexiteers, however, rub their hands in exaggerated glee and malice. In headlines and interviews, they portray the EU representatives as greedy egoists who do not allow the British to be vaccinated and have embarked on a campaign of revenge out of injured vanity. The EU has declared Britain the vaccination war, according to the Daily Mail. That is nonsense, of course, but it gets caught in many circles. That the EU has to put up with the accusation of vaccine nationalism seems almost absurd. Because where do the vaccine doses come from in large parts of the world? Most are produced in continental Europe. The USA and Great Britain, on the other hand, are taking a protectionist course at the expense of global supplies. It is undisputed that the British, with their courageous, quick and flexible approach, did a great deal right with the procurement and distribution of the vaccine. But despite their impressive success, they are by no means the innocent lambs in this theater that they present themselves as. And just to make a little point there. Once again, AstraZeneca is not delivering to the EU what they're supposed to do. And that is one of the big reasons why, for example, in my city, where we are doing great with the vaccinations, we just don't have enough of that stuff because we don't get the deliveries we were promised and that are in our contracts. At the moment, when I got the numbers right, I got this morning from my city. In my city, 12% or 12.2% of the people are vaccinated now. but we can't do much more until we get the deliveries we are supposed to get. Fortunately, we also get Moderna and soon, I hope, Johnson & Johnson, but the AstraZeneca we were promised did not arrive. And that's one reason why we don't have an even higher percentage in my hometown. We can just give people what we have. But because mistakes are caused by both London and Brussels, compromises and cooperation are needed from now on. An export ban would be the wrong answer, and counterproductive at that, because the drastic measure would damage both sides. And not only when dealing with a pandemic, it would also permanently poison diplomatic relations between the partners. And the UK did a lot on that side already, and especially our Frosty. We have to stop that BS. And we have to draw a line there. And we have to behave like the grown-ups. It has to happen that there will be normal diplomatic relations. Even if the disruptions will stay, the frictions will stay in trade, that's the choice of becoming a third country. But they are both a set of 27 Western countries and another Western country. They should be able to deal normally diplomatically. But still, after the tightening of the EU export rules in the dispute over corona vaccine deliveries from AstraZeneca, the EU and Great Britain are trying to reach an agreement. The joint statement by the EU Commission and Great Britain said the day before yesterday in the evening, "We are all facing the same pandemic, and the third wave makes cooperation between the EU and the UK even more important. In view of the mutual dependencies, one is working on concrete steps which we can implement in the short, medium and long term in order to create a win-win situation and to expand the vaccine supply for our citizens." With a view to the most recent disputes, Brussels and London announced, ultimately, openness and global cooperation between all states will be the key to finally overcoming this pandemic. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson had previously warned of considerable damage from arbitrary blockades. The economy could also suffer as a result, he said in Parliament. Companies would examine whether it makes sense to invest in countries in which arbitrary blockades are imposed in the future. Johnson, in turn, reacted to the decision of the EU Commission to significantly expand the possibilities for export bans of corona vaccines. This is necessary in order to achieve our vaccination targets against the coronavirus, said Commission Vice Valdis Dombrovskis. The Brussels authority paved the way for export bans in the event that a destination country produces vaccine itself but does not export it, or when its population is already largely vaccinated. The background is massive delivery backlogs at the British-Swedish manufacturer AstraZeneca. We feel them here too, and Commission President Ursula von der Leyen had therefore repeatedly threatened the company with an export ban on vaccines from the EU. The persistent production losses are not distributed fairly among the various contracting countries, emphasized Dombrovskis. The focus here is on Great Britain, which has so far been significantly less affected by delivery problems and at the same time imports large quantities of vaccines from the EU. The EU also accuses the government in London of de facto preventing the export of AstraZeneca vaccines from British production by means of contractual agreements. The Commission has now classified this as a threat to the EU's vaccine supply. It expressly refers to countries with their own production capacities that prevent exports either by law or by contractual or other agreements. Since February 1st, vaccine exports from EU countries to many countries have to be registered and approved. However, 17 partner countries were excluded from this coverage, including Israel and Switzerland. These exceptions have now been deleted. The Commission suspected that manufacturers were circumventing the requirements by channeling their exports through these countries. Only deliveries to 92 poorer countries via the COVAX mechanism of the WHO are now to be excluded from this. According to the Commission, 380 applications for the delivery of around 43 million doses of corona vaccine to 33 countries have so far been approved. Only one application was denied. And Italy stopped exporting 250,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine to Australia. The main recipient country was Great Britain. There alone 10.9 million cans went. Then came Canada with 6.6 million, Japan with 5.4 million, and Mexico with 4.4 million. Due to production problems in factories in the EU, AstraZeneca has so far only submitted a few export applications. But this could change. A plant in Haliks, the Netherlands, is due to start production soon. I said that in another video. The EU and Great Britain each claim the vaccine produced there for themselves. The explosive topic is high on the agenda at the video summit of the EU heads of state and government this week. Meanwhile, the discovery of 29 million vaccine doses by AstraZeneca in a bottling plant near Rome raises questions. Although there is always something spread there, the rumor was spread by a newspaper that this was all going to go to the UK, not the EU Commission, what many Brexiteers are trying to spam now in the comments. The EU Commission was the one that asked the Italian authorities to inspect the plant because of the rumors going around and the suspicions. They were the ones that wanted that thing cleared. They are not the ones that spread that rumor. That was newspapers. La Stampa, for example. They were the one. The EU Commission was the authority that wanted this to be inspected. And so don't twist the facts again. Because the rumor that they're having more production capacity in Europe than the company said was spread. The pharmaceutical company rejected media reports that the vaccine it found was to be exported to the UK. 13 million doses are therefore intended for the international vaccination initiative COVAX, and the remaining 16 million for the EU. And the result also came out because of the handling of the EU Commission of that situation. I criticize them when it's necessary. I did this in the beginning of the video, and I will continue to do so. But when they don't do anything wrong and just Brexiteers are claiming a lot of nonsense about them, of course I defend them with facts, and I will continue to do that as well. And if you want to stay informed that way, please subscribe to my channel. Auf Wiedersehen.